The traders are answering your questions. First up, a question for Stephanie. Jack in North Carolina says, the casino stocks are far off their highs and I want to buy one of them for the long term. Which one has the best fundamentals and potential going forward? Steph?
Well, I own Wynn. That's the only one I own. It is down 48% from from its high, so it certainly is not hasn't done well. I like it not for Las Vegas casinos. I like it for Macau because that's the bulk of their EBITDA, and they're gradually phasing in openings. They started in June. They're now going into July, and I think they're going to make slow progress. As you know, China is going to print a 2 to 3% GDP number next week. That's 52% on a sequential basis annualized. That is a crazy number, and that's a big V bounce, and I think that Wynn will benefit from that.
Josh, Gary in Texas asks, I know you liked Store Capital before the COVID virus struck, and it performed well. When will it get back to the position you like it in?
Well, I like it right here because I continue to buy. So I doubled my position when it was in the teens, talked about it on the show, I guess in March or early April. And look, I think this is a pretty binary bet. You either believe that we will never go to a store on Main Street to buy a new cell phone or eat at a restaurant. You either believe that you will never do that again, or you believe that slowly but surely that activity will come back and the merchants who have physical space will benefit as a result of having their customers come back. So I happen to believe in the latter. I don't think 100,000 years of human evolution and history is so completely altered that all of this real estate on Main Street is now worthless. And so I like Store because it's not a bet on apparel retail. It's not a bet on the types of things that we already know are obsolete. It's services. People are going to want to work out again, get their hair done, get their makeup done, maybe some brow work, maybe a blowout before a wedding. Like, that stuff is coming back. Store is the way to make that bet. Right, Steph? Store is the way to make that bet. And so I think it's a really good valuation here.
Josh has already had one of his free cocktails, I think. Pete, next one's for you. It's from Rob in Connecticut. With the cabin reveal coming later this month, Virgin Galactic, is that a buy?
Yes, I think so. I own it, Wilf. I think it's a really interesting company. Obviously, they're not going to make money for a really long period of time, but they got a great balance sheet, so I think they can withstand for a while. I like this name. I own it, and you can sell calls against it while you're waiting for this thing to start making money someday. It's just a great opportunity, I think, right here in the upper teens.
Next question is for Jenny. Ethan in New York wants to know if you think 10K is a good buy. How much higher can it go, and what price do you see it at by the end of this year?
Great timing for this call. I actually spoke to the company on Wednesday. I was more focused in the call on the dividend because to me that's where the total return comes from. So even with all that's gone on this year and this week in the pipeline space, the dividend is still covered. They are extremely, this is my takeaway from the call, extremely committed to it. When we hear their earnings call on July 29th, I think that we'll get a lot of comfort. Not sure where the share price goes, but you should get your 13% dividend yield.
Final viewer question is for Margaret. Anthony in Providence wants to know your take on beverage stocks. He writes, do you like any of the beverage stocks as a buy? If so, do you prefer Starbucks or Coca-Cola?
A great question, Anthony. Two very great high-quality companies, very different challenges today. Coke actually not just a soda company, a total beverage company. So near-term prefer Coke with a very much more diversified type of product base. Much more ability to manage through this challenging time, so less earnings pressure near term and a solid dividend yield.